we can actually remove the plane here, the reference image. We don't need that now. I'm going to just rotate this so it's not laying flat. It'll be so it's actually facing up for us. All right. And I'm going to save my max file here as make sure we go in the right folder. I'll save it into my reference folder. Actually, no, I'm going to save it into my main Deco building folder. We'll just call it Deco panel piece. Okay, now I'm going to reload the original max file we've been working with. It's just telling me some things are isolated. I know that. Because remember, we've isolated our stairs. Max is just warning me in case I don't realise. I'm wondering where the rest of my files have gone. Okay, let's do a merge here. So I'm going to merge that piece we just created. Alright, let's pull back here a bit. I'm going to rotate that piece. We've got edge snap turned on. It's way too big at the moment. Now, I have to decide whether this piece is even going to work for us. If it doesn't work here, I'm sure we can use it somewhere else in the level, so it's not wasted effort creating it. Let's do a scale. I'm going to do a scale just in the I'm not going to do a uniform scale, I'm just going to scale them in X and Y here. Pull it down. Now I have to decide whether it's going to work, and if it is going to work, how big we need to make it. Let's pull it back in a bit more, because I actually want it to be within the paneling. Needs to come in a bit more. It's either a question of making it small enough or then really large. So let's go really large first and we'll decide from there. Thank you for the auto host Kiori, I do appreciate it. Again guys, Kiori's Kiori123 is another 3D artist that streams on Twitch, so you should by all means check his channel out when he is streaming. He tends to stream before I do though. He's in a different time zone to me. I think if we go larger, it's probably going to be better. Yeah, I think going larger will be better. We're going to lose the top decorative pieces here, but I just think it might make for a more interesting looking piece. I know it's difficult for you guys to tell. I know in my mind what I'm going for and what I'm going to be doing, and you guys don't, but I'm just trying to decide how big or small we should make this sun image. The stairwell's quite large, and we do want to make an impact. It's in the main entryway when we first, in that fly-through, it's the main stairwell, the first thing we see when we enter the building. And as such, it really should make a statement. We're just going to make sure it's not making too much of a statement. And you guys that are artists know it can take a while for you to decide whether you like something or not. You've really got to look at it. Let's just play with the scale a little bit more. See, the problem is if I make it too small, it just gets lost and looks a bit weird. And I feel that by making it big enough so that, yeah, if I try and fit the whole thing in, that looks odd. It's too small. Going bigger and making more of a statement of the design on the step. Not too big though. We do want to keep some of the detail and shape of the object. So I'm pulling it in until these corners here don't extend into the border. We can pull it down a little bit more. So I want to see that edge there as well. We are going to lose this top edge through here, but I don't think that will matter too much. We're still going to get most of the design of the sun image here in the side of the stairwell. Yeah, I think we'll go with that size there. So let's fix up these bits that are poking through the top though. And I think the easiest way to do that will be for us to go into our left viewport. We have our object selected. I'm going to go into quick slice mode, and I'm going to cut it through here. Hopefully it cut for me. Just going to delete those. Looks like I've just got a couple of pieces of polys that are floating here that I need to remove. And maybe one more. Alright. I think I may actually just go into isolation again. Oops, wrong button. I want isolate selection. There we go. I'm just going to do this so I can clean up the polys here we don't need. Alright, let's jump out of isolation again. Let's reselect our steps. Back into isolation mode, and I forgot to take the these paneling sections, so I think the easiest way to do that's going to be for me to grab everything. I want to deselect the railings. I don't want them in the image, in the isolate. Back into isolation mode. Okay. Going to deselect those again. Isolate. There we go. All right. Let's texture up our border and our paneling, wood paneling sections here. So the easiest way I think to do that is we're going to attach those pieces together. Let's start with the wooden paneled sections. I'm just wondering if we should do a bevel on the edges of those. It's going to turn shaded mode on so I can get a better idea of my shadowing. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe we should actually bevel them. Might be a good idea. Yeah. I'm just going to select, actually no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select or deselect the steps themselves now, because we don't need to use them as a reference. We just wanted to make sure that nothing was sticking through them while we were creating our bits and pieces. I do want to do some work on the steps themselves before we retexture them, and the carpet too, but we're concentrating on this for the moment. So I'm going to deselect the steps and the carpet, jump back into isolate again, so we've just got those to worry about. Just going to tidy up a couple of these pieces as well. Not necessary, it is being hidden, but just to make things look a bit nicer. Okay, should be good. I just wanted to make sure they were hidden inside of our wooden frame there. All right, let's do some beveling on these. I think putting a bevel on them would really help the look of them. They're just too hard-edged, and like I say, anyone a regular to my channel knows I really hate hard edges. Hey Sniper Echo, good to see you. How's things? We're just working on our main stairwell here. I wanted to add a bit more interest to the model. You remember that the main steps that we see as we enter the building are pretty ordinary, and I really think they could do with being improved a little bit. I'm just going to play the video through here until we get to our steps. These main stairs here. We don't actually see the side panel in our fly through here, but I may change that when we do the new cinematic in the new version. So we're working on our main stairs here. I just wanted to make a few changes to them to make them a bit more interesting by adding some more deco detailing to the inside. I am keeping well, thanks, buddy. Yep. Yeah, no, I managed to watch a few movies over the weekend, which was good, instead of working. I actually watched Gantz Zero, I think it is. That's a 3D animated story based on the Gantz manga cartoon, or they call it anime now. I'm old school, I still call it manga. They made a movie in 3D using 3D characters of the Gantz series called Gantz 0, and it was really good. Yeah, really good. I enjoyed it. I mean, I'd seen the manga years ago, but I was interested to see what the 3D version looked like, and yeah, they did a good job. Japanese always do a really good job with 3D though. So any of you guys that are into manga or anime, I recommend Gantz 0, G-A-N-T-Z 0. It's a good movie. It's the one with the spear. Anyone not familiar, it's this black spear that sends players out into a city full of monsters. Yeah, do check it out. It's worth watching. If you're into manga, it's a good movie. It's in the same vein as the Final Fantasy movies, you know, that's 3D, full-on 3D characters and all that type of thing, rendered. But they did a good job, and yeah, really creative use of monsters in it. It was good. And of course, the original manga or anime series cartoon is worth watching too. But if you just wanted to see something that was a little bit newer, yeah, Gantz 0, it's called. So yeah, I want to get a bit more, just soften up the edges of these paneling sections. I hate these hard edges. As Sniper Echo knows, I really hate hard edges on anything. So I'm going to throw down an edit poly. Select one of our edges here. I'm not going to do the inside edges. I'm only ever worried about the outside edges here. On either side. I do want to make sure I get them all because this is in sections, so I must run through to make sure that I have them all selected, and that looks good. We're going to do a chamfer on it. We're going to throw down 3 segments as we usually do. I'm going to pull back a bit on the tension and pull back a little bit on the amount. So we get a nice soft edge going on. I'm going to copy that chamfer modifier as well. That way I don't have to keep repeating it for every one we want to do now. So let's again move to the next one along. We're already in edit poly mode. Let's make sure we select those outside edges. How's the you've done any more work on your environment, Sniper Echo? You were working on that environment in Unreal that you were showing me with the clouded over sky and the rocks and the dirt. That was looking really cool. Just curious if you've done any more work on it. So we've selected our edges. I'm just going to paste now that chamfer modifier. And that'll keep the exact same settings that we've used for all of them now. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We'll go into edge mode. So, I'm getting too carried away. Go into edge mode, select our outside edges here. And paste our chamfer. Let's move on to this one. Paste our chamfer. Sniper Echo saying he just got back at some of it today, creating some assets for it, rocks, stones. Yep, cool. That would look really cool. Because it's looking good. But what I saw the last time you were working on it, it's looking really, really cool. And I always love seeing the work that you guys do. Sniper Echo says he's also working on building working on the building for the scene. Oh, okay, cool. What sort of building are you putting in, Sniper Echo? Is it a modern building, an old building, sci-fi building? Yeah, as I said, guys, I stream on Twitch because I like to see I want to encourage you guys to do 3D, and I always enjoy seeing anything that you guys are working on. So do feel free to pop into chat if you've got some work you want me to have a look at or you want to show. If you're not a regular though, do remember you should tell me before you post a link, because otherwise Nightbot will time you out. I have to add you in my panel in Nightbot to actually add you as a regular to allow you to post a link. Otherwise, you will get timed out, and if you keep doing it, you'll get banned. So Nightbot can be pretty strict. So, but I am happy to look at any work you guys are doing, but you must let me know ahead of time. That's all. Before you post a link, okay? Yeah, so no, a building in that setting would look really cool, Sniper Echo, and adding rocks and stones as well will really help bring the environment to life. Paste a chamfer on. I'm just going to take a quick break for a couple of minutes, guys. I want to grab a fresh cup of coffee. Sniper Echo says it's an old school style silo entrance. Oh, old school silo. Okay, cool. Yeah, that would look really cool. Suit the environment for sure. Those old silos. I know what you mean. Yep. Very cool. And again, Sniper Echo is using the Unreal. He uses Blender as his 3D program. Like I say, guys, I use Max, and simply because that's what I use for work. I'm an ArchViz artist. I don't think it's the best 3D program because all 3D programs are pretty good now. It's just the one that I use. And Sniper Echo uses Blender, and Blender is a great 3D program that you can download for free from the internet. So I suggest you guys, if you're interested in doing 3D, download Blender and give it a go. And Sniper Echo is recreating his environment in Unreal Engine 4 the same way we are with this building. So, and last time I saw it, it was looking very cool. I am just going to take a quick break though for a couple of minutes, guys. I want to refresh my coffee here. It's gone cold. I always make it, put it down, work, and then forget it's there. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes though, and we'll continue on with doing some texturing work on these stairs here. So I will be back in just a few minutes, guys. Alright, let's finish doing our beveling on these paneling pieces. And again, I know it can look unnecessary to do this if you're not. I don't like a hard edge on anything, so always try and make a soft edge on any object like this, because a really hard edge like this is really unnatural. And I know when you're doing game modeling, you want to try and reduce your poly count as much as possible, but a feature object like this, like the stairway, you really should soften up. And anything where the player can get close to the object, particularly soften up. If it's up on the ceiling, it's less of a problem because the player's never going to be able to actually get up there usually. So if you are concerned with polygon counts and you don't want to soften up all your edges, make sure you soften them up at least on the ones where the player can run close to the object to see it. Let's throw down our chamfer modifier. I don't want that one. And a little one here on the end. I keep selecting the wrong one. Oh, come on, don't do this. Let's swing it around a bit. Again, Max's viewport here can be a bit fiddly sometimes to work into. Alright. Okay, I think there's just a couple here at the front, one at the front here that I might have missed. No, I got that one, good. Alright, let's work on the horizontal ones now. Again, I'm just going to get to at an angle here where I can see that edge a bit more cleanly. I can turn on edge faces mode as well if you're finding it hard to actually find your edge. Paste down modifier. One more left here to do. Alright, let's paste our modifier down. Alright, now. I'm going to attach all these pieces together now as one object. So I'm going to collapse the stack on one. And just use an attach to attach these new other pieces together. Again, it makes no order it makes no difference what order you go for the attach. Alright, so they're all one piece of geometry now. I'm just going to change the color on all of these to make them the same. It'll just be easier for me to see what I'm doing. I'm going to go for that light blue. Now I'm going to attach these inner panel pieces to the outer frame. Oh, wrong one. We don't want that. It's because I already had the frame selected. I thought I had the interior pieces selected. There we go. Alright, now let's UVW map these pieces before we take it into Substance to paint in a texture on, or to place a wood texture on. So we're going to throw down an unwrap UVW and open up our editor. I'm going to do a flatten mapping, I think. Yeah, that should work for what we want. Trying to work out whether I want to make these pieces larger or not. And again, we've got a front and a back to this frame, and the back we never see. That's the front, and that's the UVs for the back of the frame, which is never seen. So we're really wasting a bit of UV space here by having it in its own UV shell. We can delete that, which may be better, so let's just quickly remove that. I'm going to go into isolation mode. Wrong one. I always do that. Isolate. Alright. I'm going to swing around to the back here, which is a side we never see. Go into poly mode. I'm going to select the polygons on the back faces. And I can do that for all of these pieces if I want. I'm just trying to work out whether it's actually worth doing it for the back of the paneling or not. probably isn't. But I can delete the ones there certainly on the back edge because they're never seen. It's actually butting up against the stairs, so. Alright, now let's do our, did I forget one here? Looks like I may have forgotten this little one here in the corner. We better fix that up. Let's soften up the edges here. I just forgot to select a couple of edges toward the top. 3 segments. Pull back a bit on that and pull back a bit on that. And collapse. Okay, now we just got to make sure we attach that to the rest of the frame here. Oh, we forgot to attach that little one as well. So, let's do that now. Let's attach these 2 pieces. Now that we've removed the polygons from the back edge of the frame, the outer frame, let's do an unwrap UVW. And we're going to do a flatten mapping again. Now you see we have a much larger use of our texture space here with the front of the frame. So we're making better use of our UV map by removing the polygons at the back of the frame. So not only has it given us a larger UV map to work with for our frame itself, it's also slightly reduced the polygon count on that object. Alright. I'm just going to turn off map seams here. Let's export that piece. We'll call it main stairs panels. We'll export it as an FBX file. In our main stairs folder. Let's jump into Substance Painter and create a new project. I'll just save that one. Main stairs panels, that's the one we want. Alright, so we know that's the front, we know that's the back because the polygons have been removed. Okay, let's work out what color we want to make this. Now, let's jump back into Max quickly to use it as a reference, see what we're doing. Just select all of those and isolate them so we're not confused with everything else going on. Alright, so we have to work out what color we want to make our paneling. We've got a cherry wood here in the background. And we've got a bit of, this decorative piece here is quite busy too, so we don't really want to go with anything that's going to detract too much from that design we've got going in the background there. So what we can do is, we could put a chocolate coloured wood there. But I think it might be more interesting if we use our cherry wood, but just alter the colour of the cherry wood a bit. So again, we've got our smart material. We're going to load up our smart cherry wood object we created. Let's adjust our tiling a little bit. I'm just going to check the rotation as well. I just want to see if it'll look better running the other way. Okay, let's adjust our colouring a little. So that's the colour it is at the moment, that coloured red. And I think if we make it a little darker, it might look interesting. So if we just change the colour here just to make the red a little darker. Just a touch, not much. I might just go back up, but make sure I'm going into my red value though. There we go. I'm not actually going to, I'm just going to save this project as well. I'm not actually going to go in and paint in any wearing or detailing because we're using a generator as part of our smart material. And that generator is adding a little bit of aging to the wood on its own. So we really don't need, you could go in and paint in some scuff marks and wearing along the edges, but I don't think it actually needs it. Let's export the textures for that. Just before I do that, no, we'll export those textures. Make sure we're in the right folder. Wrong one. Models. Exports. Main stairway. I'm actually going to make a subfolder within that folder here called panels. And we'll export those textures. Jump back into Max. Open up our material editor. And let's create a standard material and load up that color map we just exported. Make sure we have that object selected and we'll assign the material to it. Now I've got to decide whether the color is right or if I want to change the color at all. Going to deselect it so it doesn't get in the way there. I actually think we could probably bring in a little bit more brown into the color of that wood. So we'll darken it up a bit as well. Let's re-export our textures again.